Good evening and welcome to Letters from the Light Side. My name is Annie Conboy and I'm here to bring you the guidance and inspiration that comes from the non-physical beings who take an interest in our world. I'm live streaming on Facebook and also on YouTube. So whichever way you're watching, thank you for being here. Thank you if you're watching live, and thank you also if you do watch this on catch up. So, I'm sorry, I've had a really lovely out of sequence week. On Monday I thought it was Sunday. On Wednesday I thought it was Thursday. I don't know what I was doing Tuesday, but I've finally clicked back into, yes, this is Thursday, this is Letters from the Light Side Day, and here we go. So you might have found yourself a little bit muddled with the energy, a little bit, what day is it, what week is it, even what year is it this week, as we continue our transition. The tail end of 2012's energy is fading away. We're coming out from that and we're starting onto a new block of energy which we'll fully engage with when we get into 2022. I can't believe we've got here this quickly, but we've still got a little bit of stuff trying to sort itself out and settle itself down. So you might also have felt a little bit exhausted this week, a little bit flatter than usual. That's typical when you're in a process of energy change, when you're shifting from one vibration to another. Sometimes the crossover can be more demanding on you than you give yourself time for. And actually, what was really interesting was on Wednesday, I said, right, I really need the day off. And I took the day off. And part of living the intuitive life is to feel the energy, to tune in and to try to accommodate what the energy is doing so that you don't have to swim against the tide, so to speak. So you might even have felt on Wednesday like, right, I'll just do the bare minimum. I'll just sort of get through the day as easily as I can. And that's a really good way to look at intuitive. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's one of the guides connecting, and that was a bit harsh. Like it a bit smoother, please. Okay, I actually want to talk to you tonight on behalf of Archangel Dereshiel. He's I experience him as a he, but it can be experienced as a she. What I need to say about energies is that we get the energy that balances whatever energy flow we're in, and I'm often in my creative feminine side, so I often experience energy beings as in their masculine flow rather than their feminine flow to balance me out. So Dereshiel's here this evening to encourage you to try to find a place of balance. We've all been through a time of sacrifice. Sometimes we've sacrificed easily, sometimes we've sacrificed reluctantly, willingly, frustratingly, resentfully. We've done all kinds of things to have to give up something. And some of that's been about our personal freedoms in balancing them against collective freedoms. Some of it's been about our connection with people and maybe not being able to connect with people. Some of it's been about not being able to go out and about to do the kind of things that we would naturally and normally do in our pattern. And some of it has been about recognising where our working life is out of step with our social life or personal life, and having to think about how we shift in our work so that we can become more fulfilled, more satisfied. So a lot of sacrifice in order to get to that point. And by the way, here's the cat, here's Willow. A lot of sacrifice in order to get to that place of balance and understanding what we now want to put into our lives, what we want more of. But also, Darashil wants to talk about sacrifice from a point of view of how we build communities. We build communities by agreeing that we will all share equally in the joy and the pain. We build community by saying, let's put your needs first, my needs are second. He had me thinking today about the cooperative societies, a movement that was started in my home county, which was all about putting resources together to share them as equally as possible and to encourage people to put in place, with small sacrifices, things that would have a bigger benefit for everybody. So he very much wants you to understand this theme that's playing through this new moon and full moon, of looking at sacrifice as being something that is a positive. I know we often look at sacrifice as a negative and go into it as a resentful thing, but Darashil, Archangel Darashil, is asking you to understand that what you give, you get back, which is the wonderful universal law of cause and effect. So if you give, if you sort of say, right, well, I can do with less of this, but I can gift more to others because I have less, what you will actually get is more coming back, because everyone will be going, oh, that's a lovely gift, let's give that gift back. That's what the energy flow does. So the more that you approach sacrifice from a positive point of service to others, the stronger the wave of energy can come back to you to give you all that you require and desire. It's not just need and want, it's require and desire. And we've got to adjust in a global community of spirit to looking at giving as a more positive sacrifice, so that we open the door to get a response, a return of that energy. That's very important, and that we feel positive about doing more with less, or having less, of understanding that if we take less, there's more for others, but we can take up to whatever we require and desire, because we can all share together to make it happen. And in that sense, Darashil's asking you to winkle out any resentments you have, winkle out any resistance to looking at things on a community level, looking at things in a global level. You know, it doesn't, he always tells me, it doesn't matter what we look like, it doesn't matter what we sound like, it doesn't matter where we live, what we do for a job, how we go on. What matters is that we're all human beings with a beautiful spark of spirit within us. That's who we all are. Everyone on the planet. So when we start to look at building community, you know, family is a community, friendships are another community, neighbours are a community, where you live is a community. When we start to look at the world and pull in that community vision, what we end up with is being prepared to say, I can have less, or I can take less, because there are others who need it more right now. And when it's my turn to need it more, I'll get that back. It's the circular nature of energy. What we give out, we get back. So use this beautiful moon energy. We're shortly being full moon, use this moon energy to help you to look at what you can contribute, what you can do in terms of community, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be big grand gestures. Sadly, we're finding in this country the situation that many other countries face. We're now having to have food banks because not everybody has got enough sustenance. So it might even just be giving a little something to a food bank. I know lots of the stores collect for animal causes and charitable reasons. You know, is that a way for us to sacrifice something, you know, sacrifice a bar of chocolate for a tin of beans that you can gift? It is on about looking at how we make these easy, comfortable sacrifices that are done with ease and grace, but benefit us all. He's also asking you at this time, in this energy, while we're in this transition, to choose wisely. It is very difficult at the moment because we're surfacing. We have been surfacing for years all the cruddy, nitty-gritty-ness of people, and seeing the shadow side and living in the shadow side of humanity. And he would love you to see that and understand that it's a necessary step. So if people have been like grumpy bears with you this week, try to understand they're grappling with that shadow side of humanity, that lower vibrational part of us that still clings on, still tries to get us to move away from the loving, healing blessing of being community together globally. So he's asking you to think about, right, what choices am I making that perhaps cut me off from the flow of love, or perhaps don't place me in the best flow of love? Is my shadow side operating? I know I have to say, sorry, it's tickling my ear. I have to say, I've had a couple of spells this week where I felt like a grumpy bear myself, and and why is it? And kind of feeling a bit tetchy with people, or a bit fed up, and kind of, I wish people would go away, and I wish they'd do this, but it's us expressing the reality of life, and it's us trying to find better choices and better options in order to bring in a better energy vibration. Now, in that shadow side, sometimes it can be easy to be a bit wavery. I'm sorry, Rafe's laughing his head off behind me. Durashiel is pointing out when I've wavered this week, I've been ho-humming and in two minds. Should I, shouldn't I? And sometimes we don't let ourselves do that. We actually get really uncomfortable with it. But it's a good thing. What it helps us to do is work out the ground we're standing on and where we want to stand on issues. So choosing wisely is followed by a position of, right, this is what I feel is the best and most spiritual use of me. This is what I can contribute. And it gives you a foundation from which to build your achievements and to really appreciate that you're in a journey, that Dareshiel's whole being is about emotions, about helping us to master our emotions, about reminding us we've got a choice about how we feel about things, that it's up to us. If we want to get grumpy, we're letting ourselves choose grumpy. We could choose laughter instead, or we could just choose bursting into tears. There was one point this week when I just was on that point. And they all rushed in, all the non-physical beings. I said, come on, shake yourself, girl, get yourself out of this energy. And I get that quite a bit. Get yourself out of this energy. Remember that having feelings is good. Remember that you don't let the feelings rule you. You're the being who's in charge, not your feelings. And of course, feelings are very, very important for Darashiel in terms of our psychic ability. Our intuition is emotional. It's not based in the mind, in logic. It's based in our feelings. So he wants us to really understand our feelings and get used to or get in with our feelings, because that will help us to open up our intuitive ability. And he's often the one I call on when I need to straighten the communication. If the link's gone a bit fuzzy, I'll say to him, come on, get this link nice and strong and let's get cracking on with this. Lots and lots of positive is flowing our way, but it won't look like it on the surface because we're still in this muddy, mixed up energy, which is us dealing with our shadow side, recognizing we've got it, recognizing that we don't always do the best thing, recognizing that sometimes the person we put first is ourselves in a selfish way. There's a difference between being for the self and being selfish. And Darashiel helps us to learn that, again, by drawing our attention to the impact that we have within our community. And again, whether that's family, circle of friends, colleagues, whatever, we have an impact. And if we understand the energetic impact as well as the emotional impact we have on others, then we're putting ourselves on firm footing, being able to stand our ground without pushing out energy that's going to hurt or harm anybody. He feels that this is very important at the moment because we're moving... Sorry, Rafe's just calling out. Saturn's gone forward. Saturn always brings a little bit of discipline, gets us to notice things. Now Saturn's come out of retrograde. We've also got next Monday Mercury and Jupiter going forward again. There will be a hangover. There's always 2 or 3 days, if not a week or two, of just picking up from that energy as it turns forward. But what we can do in the meantime is recognise where we're stuck. The energy that's coming in over the next 7 days is actually a lot calmer, a lot smoother than some of the turbulence that's circulating the world. What we're receiving back is a little bit of a pause, a time to maybe reflect a little bit more, to use Mercury, to use our spiritual connections and to ask our guides for a little bit of guidance through the stuckness, because underneath it may feel very stuck. You may feel very stuck, very restless, but very stuck. And all those lovely bright inspirations might seem to be fading a bit, or you might be feeling, oh, I'm hitting a bit of a brick wall here, or that just doesn't seem to be happening. We're having a little pause. That's what's happening. Things that we are requiring and desiring are coming in for us, but sometimes they don't appear the moment we want them. And so sometimes we have to just go, it isn't happening yet. So the theme of next week is it's not happened yet. And just letting yourself get into that lovely sense of there will be a point when it happens. There will be a point when it all comes together, when all the puzzle pieces fit. And that time that it all comes together will fit in so many different ways. So it might be frustrating to have another week of feeling stuck, but it's actually just to give you time to reflect and to look at the emotions around stuckness. When we get stuck, it's always worth, Darashiel says, looking at what you're feeling. What do you feel stuck on? And to try to understand that sometimes we're stuck because moving forward is uncertain. Moving forward feels a little bit like, oh, I'm not quite sure how it's going to work. And so there's a bit of us that puts up a little bit of resistance and sort of says, right, well, okay, maybe I'm better off where I am right now. When we hit stuckness, it's to think about, am I actually just having this pause because there's a part of me that's not totally ready to move forward? And to wait for that energy to build, because the energy does build, the energy does shift, and we do move forward. If we stayed stuck forever, none of us would have ever walked and talked and had education or jobs or partners or anything. We do move forward. Sometimes you just have to recognise that at the moment we can't see the benefits of the forward move, so we're holding back a little bit. And the thing that you can do, says Rachel, is start to recognise the benefits of moving forward. What is it going to bring you? Not in a negative way. I used to have a habit of doing what if, but the what ifs were always leading me into catastrophe territory. It's not about what if and then, oh, but that'll go wrong and this will happen. And it's about, right, what am I going to gain? If I'm moving forward and if I'm coming out of this stuckness, what will I gain? Will it be that I'll be happier, healthier? Will it be that I'll laugh more? Will it be that I'll be meeting nice people? Will it mean that I'm finally doing something I really adore doing? Will it give me more time with my children or grandchildren? Will it give me a different perspective on the world? Highlighting the benefits, because this energy that shift when Mercury goes forward alongside Jupiter will give you a boost to take you forward. So over the next few days, the focus is reflection and where am I stuck and why do I feel stuck and maybe why am I keeping myself stuck, so that when you hit Tuesday's energy, what you'll be able to do is to get those ideas back in front of you. Sorry, I'm laughing because Rafe had me looking for my ideas book today. I keep an ideas book and I can't find it, so I've obviously put it somewhere so I stay stuck. But what are those ideas? Is it time to start on some of those ideas? Is it time for new beginnings to happen? And this lovely sense of it will be an energetic jump forward, so I'm going to enjoy it, and wherever I land it'll be okay, because I'm never out of options. There's always solutions. I know sometimes we don't think there are, but there's always solutions, especially if we invite the guides to give us the solutions. They're full of solutions. So that's Darashel's message for you tonight, to look at how you feel about things at the moment and to deal with how you feel about things. Rafe is just reminding me that the veil between the worlds is becoming thinner. It happens at this time of year. Samhain or Halloween or 31st of October, All Souls, All Saints. It's the time when our loved ones can push themselves more through the veil. So be aware that over the next couple of weeks, as we go through this thin time, you may find yourself feeling as if, or getting messages or dreaming about your loved ones. Their hope is to encourage you and to support you. Their hope is that you recognise that they're still with you and that they bring their love forward for you. So it is a time to expect the breakthrough and to recognise, the breakthrough is a normal way of them getting in communication with you, just to show their love. That's what it's about. So enjoy this time. If you can, give them a few minutes of your time. I generally like to sit for 15 minutes or so every day at some point and just say, right, I'm listening, and let them bring in whatever it is that they feel I need to hear in that particular space and time. Don't always get contact or messages. Sometimes nobody's home and they're all out having fun. But it is a lovely way, especially when at the moment your intuitive abilities will be heightened because the energy barrier between our two worlds is so much less. It's not as strong a barrier as it normally is. So there is an opportunity to sit and quietly tune in and make those connections back with your loved ones. They are very much here with us. They're not gone in any other sense than their physical being. They're always ready to speak and to be part of your life. So give them a little bit of room, and I'm sure that they will work in whatever way they can to get a message of love to you. I do love this time of year. We've got it went dark very quickly tonight, and it's getting darker in the mornings. Of course, this is the northern hemisphere going through its winter. In the southern hemisphere, it's the flip. They're going into summer. But I do love the darker nights where we have the chance to kind of snuggle in round the fire, I suppose you could say, and relax and just review and reflect and remind ourselves. I mean, one of the lovely things about this period of time is that loved ones often send you memories, or you find yourself talking about the memories of your loved ones. I was yesterday, and the person who was with me was picking up the signal on my behalf from the loved one I was talking about. It was wonderful. So this is a beautiful time for sharing the memories, because one of the lovely things Rafe always reminds me is they're not gone and I can communicate with them, but I can pass their memories, I can pass their energy, their presence in my life onto others, because I talk about my loved ones in spirit. And if I talk about them, then I am sharing the joy of the connection, sharing the sacrifices they made to be in my life and to have me around, sharing in the joy of community, because we have a beautiful community of spirit, and all they want to do is be a part of our lives in some way or other. So give them a chance in the next few weeks. Let them come in and let them remind you of the joy and laughter. Yeah, we always have other stuff. Absolutely. Memories are a bit like that. But we can focus, here's Darashil again, we can choose to focus on the memories that make us feel loved and good, and make us remember how much love there was between us, and what a beautiful community we formed when our loved ones were with us. So, gone but not forgotten, we can enjoy their connection. Thank you very much for watching. I think that you might find the connection's been a bit patchy tonight. It's I don't know, it's just I did say, can we have a good connection, but I think it might have been a bit wavery. Anyway, the main thing is, have a good week. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the connection with your loved ones. I'll be back next Thursday, as far as I know. Bye.